my goodness, I am tired. My dad and I are out in the yard and we're doing some work and we're getting ready to put in asparagus. So we can show you guys what that looks like. You guys have seen me do a video on transplanting it before at my sister's in Vermont. And here we're actually starting it from scratch and we're building it along my fence. So I ordered my asparagus from Gurney's and I got 10 that are a purple variety and 10 that are a green, I think it was Jersey Night maybe variety. So we are preparing the bed behind me and getting ready to do that. So I've been running dirt all along the fence. I got another load, as you guys probably saw if you follow my Facebook feed. So we're doing a lot of that, but we're tired. We're losing our sun. But all we're doing is putting down cardboard like I've been doing for most of these beds to create like a weed barrier, and it's not foolproof. This is just as a first step, and then I'll have to weed and mulch and stay on top of it. But
and it's biodegradable.
And my dad says, and it's biodegradable. So what we're doing here is we're digging 20 holes, and each one is about, how deep are you making them? About 6-ish inches?
4 to 6 inches.
4 to 6 inches deep. They're about 18 inches apart. So that's why they are staggered. And let me flip this around. Here you go. So now you can kind of see there's our black raspberries that we've planted before, and here's what this looks like. We'll just give you a little rundown. Inside each of those holes, my dad has taken and put in a nice big handful of compost. One thing asparagus loves is compost, so he's putting it down in the holes initially so that they have some nutrients. Here he comes with some right now. So that's going to give them nutrients right on their roots, and then we're going to fill this entire thing with that lovely black compost that you guys have seen me post about. This is what asparagus looks like when it comes in the mail. So this one here is Purple Passion, and it has several different grades at Gurney's. I got the heavy, which was more expensive, but I'm hoping that leads to asparagus faster. One thing you may not be aware of is asparagus takes a couple years to establish. Now, I don't know with these how that works exactly, but see these little guys here? Those are baby asparagus. This one here is a Jersey Night hybrid, and these are called crowns. So there should be 10 of each of these.
Now, the last time I put a bed in, I did what was called the ditch method, and I dug a trench.
Should I be filming you on this?
If you want to. I dug a trench 12 inches deep, and I spaced the roots 24 inches apart in the trench. And I took a handful of composted cow manure or compost, and I put it in the trench, and then I took one of these little crowns, which I should have had one of these open earlier. And this is the top, and I spread the roots out like fingers on top of the pile of compost, and then covered it up, and then went over the top just a little bit, and then left it like that. And then when it started to grow, when you started to see the little asparagus shoots come up, like this one probably should have been in the ground already, then you could heel it up against it and do it little by little. If you bury them a foot deep, it might kill them. It's just too far down. So
that's why you start at 6 to 8 inches or so.
The newest stuff, they say though, is that you don't need to do the trench method. You can just plant them 6 inches deep. So that's why I dug the holes the way I did, and we can lay those in and have the crown up on it, and then fill in a little bit and not put much dirt over the top of them, just a couple inches, keep it moist until you start seeing the little roots or little asparagus coming up. And then you can slowly bring it up to 6 inches, 8 inches deep.
Okay, he's just spacing them out, very delicately pulling them apart.
I was just curious if they gave us any extras, because they only dug.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. It's supposed to be 10.
Yeah, those are a little bigger.
Well, bigger is better.
They're pretty nice, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Oh, they did give us an extra one. Okay. I guess we got to
these.
dig another hole.
Okay. That's why I was looking.
We might run into the same issue over here.
Or we could plant 2 of them closer together down here. Hopefully this whole area will
Well, some of these are a little smaller. Yeah. Maybe they can go in a hole together.
Let's see what they gave us here.
Ooh, those are good ones. These are the Jersey Night.
1, 2, 3.
And I think these were $25 for 10. Just so everybody out there knows, I know that my Farmers Exchange did have them, and they actually did have this variety.
7,
but I didn't know what the grade was, so I didn't buy them.
9, 10. Okay,
and I don't remember what they were charging for them. They were probably a little cheaper than this. I went with this just because I knew that they were marked as heavy.
Now you could also start asparagus from seed.
Yikes, nobody wants to do that.
But it's way cheaper. You just buy the seed. But then these roots are 2 years old.
Right.
At least 2, maybe 3.
So if you start from seed, you may not see asparagus for 5 years.
It'll take 3 years, 2 or 3 years to get the roots to this size.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how they...
I still feel like if you do it like a crown.
Well, you still can. But this one's already got a little asparagus root shoot coming up.
Oh, I see.
But I don't know how to save the little guy.
Well, it's not like we're going to be eating them anyway.
No.
These won't be ready for a few years, guys.
And
First year, you let them grow, and you let the roots get stronger.
some people make that mistake is they harvest it and keep cutting it and cutting it and cutting it when it's young. If you cut it too much, your asparagus will get smaller and smaller. I don't recommend cutting anything that's smaller than like my finger. Like you see them in the store sometimes, they look like string beans, only a quarter of an inch.
Too little.
I would never cut one that small. Let it grow, and that will get more strength to the roots, so the next year you'll have stronger.
Okay, so that's one down.
So that's one down. And we'll give them a mixture of soil here is actually pretty good. The soil up in the front yard is red clay, nasty stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's why I build up.
So we're probably going to have 6 inches full of this nice compost on top of this whole bed when we get done. So there's one.
You want to show one more, and then I'll jump in and help you.
I think they got the gist of it.
Yeah, it's always nice to do too.
And this one's got little guys coming up, but there's not much going on there. Asparagus is a heavy feeder, so you need to fertilize it or put compost or cow manure or something like that on every single year to keep your asparagus bed healthy. Once it's established, you could have asparagus for 20 years out of the same bed, unless you have chipmunks can get into it and eat the roots. That's about the only thing that'll really bother it. And I've had that happen where a bed slowly petered out because the mice and the chipmunks got in there in the wintertime and ate the roots. And once they eat the crown, you're all done.
This probably looks like a hot mess right now. That's because it kind of is. We don't have a good way to mark where these are, so we are getting the hose so that we can get the watering can, give these all some water, and then we're debating on if we're going to go ahead and cover them with more compost. So I have emptied that guy, and I will probably go fill it up while my dad is working on the water back there. All right, here is what this ended up looking like yesterday. So we don't have a thick layer of dirt. That's why you can still see some of the cardboard here. We are going to watch for growth, and that's going to look a little something like that we showed you guys yesterday. You know, that's a baby asparagus. Our hope is that these will straighten out, and when these start to grow, they're going to look very frondy. If you know what dill looks like, they look very much like dill. So we're just going to keep an eye on this and keep this very well watered. In fact, it's pretty dry right now, so that is my next step, is to go ahead and water this again today. But I wanted you guys to see how much dirt we ended up putting on top of there. This is going to be a process to get this established. This is not a one-day thing, so. But that's kind of a long area, isn't it? But imagine when that's filled in with a yummy, yummy asparagus. That'll be fantastic. So, as always, if anybody has grown asparagus before and you want to weigh in and give me some tips and tricks, I'd be happy to have them. And otherwise, look for future updates on how this goes.